Proposition 50 promises to redraw California's congressional maps, a move supporters say would counter Republican gerrymandering in Texas and set a national example. But if voters approve it in November, the real fight may just be beginning in the courts.
If Proposition 50 passes, there are likely to be several legal challenges. Some of these have been raised already before the California Supreme Court in a petition to try and keep Prop 50 off the ballot. So there are 7 I've identified as possible issues.
Laura Halgran is a retired San Diego Superior Court judge. She's identified several potential challenges critics can push ahead with if the prop passes. Those 7 challenges range from constitutional violations to procedural problems. The most serious involves a fundamental voting rights principle called one person, one vote. The idea that every person's vote should carry equal weight.
The goal of having equal congressional districts is that each vote is equal. And for example, if you had District A with a population of 1,000 and District B with a population of 500, the value of the votes in District A would be diminished and the value of the votes in District B would be enhanced.
Critics argue that using 5-year-old census data to draw new districts could create that exact problem. Some districts might have grown significantly while others shrunk, making votes unequal. There's also the question of timing. The legislation creating these new districts existed for only 4 days before lawmakers voted, potentially violating the state constitution's requirement that bills be available for public review for 30 days. Supporters counter that Prop 50 is about fairness, arguing California has a responsibility to set a national standard against partisan gerrymandering. They say these challenges are weak because the measure amends the Constitution and courts rarely overturn voter-approved constitutional amendments. But perhaps the biggest question is the timeline. Even if voters pass Prop 50, court challenges could drag on for years.
Part of the concern for people who favor Prop 50 would be if the matter is tied up in court for a long time, the court might issue a stay and not allow it to go into effect. So for the people against the proposition, to them, there would be value in litigating this for a long time.
That could mean the current congressional maps stay in place throughout the 2026 midterm elections, even if voters approve the changes this November.
So those are 7 issues I've identified. I'm sure creative litigants can come up with more. And one thing is certain, if Prop 50 passes, there will certainly be litigation in court.
Prop 50 also includes a provision sending any challenge directly to the California Supreme Court, skipping lower courts to speed up the process. But with federal voting rights issues at stake, the final decision could end up before the U.S. Supreme Court. For voters, that means the stakes go beyond just this year's ballot. The outcome could decide not only who represents them in Washington, but also whether other states follow California's lead in redrawing their maps mid-decade. Max Goldwasser, ABC 10 News.